Synthetic at Keeneland for her next start in the Vinery Madison. That comes on April 9th. All right, 3 guests for the remainder of the show. Remember, we're with you till 11:30 this morning. Our first guest this morning, which Michael will introduce in a moment, he won't be playing golf this afternoon because he's got a busy afternoon at the fairgrounds, doesn't he?
And Mark, we do speak of a gentleman that I enjoy seeing every summer at Saratoga, and I hope he's coming up here again this year. I'm speaking of Albert Stahl, who's got a very busy afternoon on Louisiana Derby Day with 4 horses in some of the stakes. And Albert, if you're there this morning, welcome to Down the Stretch in upstate New York with Mark and Mike.
Okay, Mark.
Morning.
Yes, I'm here, and I'm glad to be talking with y'all.
Well, Albert, we're very happy to speak with you, and we'll start with Terrain in the Louisiana Derby, which for all of us is race 9 on the card today. Al, this is Terrain's first start since the Delta Jackpot. Was that by design?
Well, we wanted to get to this race in one way or another, and we were going to use the Risen Star, but somewhere around mid-January or the end of January, he got a temperature and missed a few days of training, and so we just immediately threw that out and decided to train up to the Derby.
Albert, after the 2 good Grade 1s last fall, the Breeders' Futurity and the Juvenile, and our audience is going to see the Breeders' Futurity, and for them, he'll be next to last on the screen. He was logically favored in the Delta Jackpot, but he favored in the late running. That had to be a disappointment that night. What happened that evening?
Well, honestly, I don't know. He didn't break well, and I don't know if the jock nudged on him a little bit, and he basically ran off, which he's never done in his life.
Yeah.
He's a very comfortable, come-from-behind type horse, and they went by us the first time, and he was heading in for the lead, and his head was stuck straight up in the air. Was probably my fault for putting blinkers on.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would be a logical thing to get him to maybe lay a little closer, and he completely overdid it. He was just a half length off the lead in 46-1, which had Delta down, just absolutely flying, going a mile and 16, and he just came up empty. So I'm just blowing that race out, whether it was the blinkers, whether it was the ship, whether it was the bull ring racetrack, night racing, a whole bunch of deals, different things. But I'm just going to draw lines to that race, and hopefully he'll revert back to his Grade 1 form.
Yes, and for our audience, blinkers are coming off today, Albert. It's interesting that in his 3 stakes races last year, prior to the jackpot, his performance lines indicate some trouble. He hesitated, he was blocked, or so forth. Was that just a run of bad racing luck, or can he be hard to handle at times?
No, he's fine to handle,
Yeah.
but that's why I put the blinkers on, just
Yeah.
because I thought he got himself in trouble. There were holes there that he just didn't really want to go through. He didn't really get dead stopped where the rider had to stand him on his head. So it was, we thought he might focus a little better with blinkers like everybody thinks, and it just didn't seem to work. But I don't think he really got in that much trouble. There's a few little line comments there, but nothing. I don't think he was cost the placing in any race he was in, except for Arlington, Washington. That was a rodeo. So, but the other ones, the Grade 1s, were just the holes were moving a little bit faster than he was.
Now, you're coming back in really one of the tough spots on the national card this afternoon in the Derby. So I guess I'll ask you, with this as a return, this is kicking things off in mid-March, what do you hope to see today? When the race is over, obviously the trophy's nice, but what'll make you happy about him coming back today?
Right. Well, there's no question he's going to need a race to get back started. It's early in the year, and he's a seasoned veteran because of his 2-year-old campaign. I just would like to see him moving forward at the end, and whatever he picks up, hopefully it's the lion's share of it. But you just want to see him going forward because he'll be a better horse after this race, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to stay home, because you have to think he would come out of this race better just walking out of his own stall to the paddock and back, as opposed to chipping somewhere and needing a race no matter where you go. So we just want to get this one under our belt, and hopefully he scores in it, but he should be a better animal post-race.
Well, we'll leave Terrain, Albert, for the Louisiana Derby and move to the Louisiana Handicap, which is race 7 today. And you have Star Guitar and My Pal Charlie in this race, and wouldn't you know, in a 14-horse field, you come up with 13 and 14 with Star Guitar and My Pal Charlie in that order. I got to ask this question, Albert. Is this bad all around, or is Is there one of the two that's going to be okay out there, or vice versa?
Well, yeah, it was the best laid plan. Yes, we had the horses going the right way, in good form and sharp, and that happened. But there have been 3 scratches in the race. So
Oh, okay.
we've moved in 3 spots with both horses. So I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but you think it's a little bit easier. I don't think it's going to be a problem. My pal Charlie is a natural speed horse, so. And he does better when he can tuck in behind a horse, like he did in the Super Derby. So maybe he can tuck in behind some horses. And Star Guitar, wherever he finds himself with his long stride, is fine. Whether he's 5th or 10th, it's not going to bother him.
Interesting about Star Guitar, you kept him sprinting for quite a while before stretching, which he has handled quite nicely. Was there a reason for that, or is that just the way his races came up?
That's the way the races came up. Louisiana, speed is king, so there's a lot more short races than long races. And the way his injury, when he got injured,